society that glorifies and socially sanctions strict dieting and exercise, body dissatisfaction and potential eating disorders are an unwelcome trend amongst young people of any gender. At the extreme, however, muscle dysmorphia may develop in young men, which is characterized by a preoccupation around their level of muscularity. It is the fear of being insufficiently muscular that drives these individuals to exercise rigorously and adopt disordered eating habits in order to meet their own expectations.
My name's James and I'm 17. Around when I was 14, just before my 15th birthday, I vividly remember having to sneak into the gym with my dad because I had to be 16 to train. Probably would like to get even more stronger, get leaner, and probably some little parts here and there, like get my chest a bit better, my hamstrings a bit better. I eat around 6 times a day, 6 different meals. I train in the gym 4 times a week, and I do external fitness 3 times a week. In terms of size and the looks, I look up to, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Tonight, young men and the pressure for massive muscles.
What happens if you don't exercise?
No, I'm disappointed with myself, but I make up for it.
Let me put it to you this way. Are you controlling it or is it controlling you?
New research reveals rising rates of body dissatisfaction among boys and teenagers. A University of Melbourne study surveyed 1,600 school children aged 12 to 18. Half of boys reported the same sort of negative feelings about their own bodies.
Muscle dysmorphia is almost exclusively presenting in males, and the mean age of onset is around 16 to 17 years old, but the most frequent age of onset is around 12 to 13. So essentially young boys, adolescent boys are those that are affected the most.
What do you do and how do you feel when you don't exercise and you don't eat properly?
So when I'm not progressing, when I'm going downwards, I feel pretty shit, and it just sort of bubbles up, and I don't know how to control it.
And what do you do to control it?
Usually just go to the gym, train very hard, eat a lot, and complain.
Primarily there would be a lot of compulsive exercise, so really going to the gym quite a lot, having a strict routine or regimen around the gym, and there would be a lot of anxiety if they're unable to get to the gym for as long as they would like or when they would like, and this would start to significantly impact on their state of well-being and their mental health. Other things would include high protein intake or supplementation, and a real focus on a ritual around when they take their supplements. Disordered eating practices like, I guess, bulking and shredding, so the idea of consuming larger quantities of calories or energy-dense foods and then restricting to cut back and show the muscularity in the body.
For those into bodybuilding, however, trying to maintain a muscular figure can be challenging and physically demanding on the mind and body. Personal trainer and owner of Rockstar Fitness, Ben Lai, has seen how bodybuilding can affect those who may be suffering from some level of muscle dysmorphia.
Most bodybuilders that are really into their bodybuilding and want to get large and big, they all have a level of body dysmorphia. When they look in the mirror, they don't see what we see. We see a giant guy, hugely muscular, giant biceps, giant chest. I'm like, wow, that guy's massive. They look in the mirror and it's never big enough. All right? So for them, they wouldn't really ever stop dead and not do anything, because for them, mentally, that would be incredibly straining on them. They'd be like, all that stuff, all that effort, all that workload that I put into myself looking like this, I'm losing that, I'm shrinking. It wouldn't look like they're shrinking. To us, they probably only drop maybe 2 centimeters, 2 inches on a bicep, on a midsection, on a chest. They'd still look huge to us, but to them, they'd feel like they had deflated, and it would really affect their self-confidence, their own self-image, and their ability to function in everyday lives, which is your heavy level of dysmorphia.
Do you know what body dysmorphia is?
Yes.
Do you think you could have body dysmorphia?
I think I could have body dysmorphia, yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because I'm obsessive with my body.
There's a lot of people that fall through the cracks with an illness such as muscle dysmorphia for those reasons, and I suppose because of the demographic of people that are most affected, so young men and boys, they're also less likely to seek help, which makes it difficult for loved ones, friends and family to actually realise or acknowledge that they might be struggling or suffering.